Tarusha. I'm the co-founder of Dapps. This is the seventh part of our founder series where we take a look behind the founder experience, what is being built with Dapps, and just general insights of building in Web3. So today's episode is about building for the wrong audience. Basically, why most Web3 startups build for the wrong people. So most Web3 startups are solving the wrong problem for the wrong people. I think, this can be easily put in the way that they struggle to find a PMF for the longest time, and at times then they fade away. So I've been building in Web3 since before it even had that name, Web3. From India's first Ethereum exchange to Unifarm and now Dapps, I've seen cycles come and go. But one thing has not changed. Founders keep building for the same 10,000 people. The problem is that's not who the next 10 million users are. When we were building dApps, it was tempting to cater only to the crypto native crowd, people who already understood wallets, bridges, gas fees. But I knew from my experience, those users are already served and they will come, right? When you build something that piques their curiosity, they will come. And at times, this same set of users, if you're just building for them, at times, their loyalty is also in question because there is a lot that is happening for them to try out. They hop between protocols, yield farms, and platforms like, mercenaries, for the lack of a better word. You get a slight spike, then it's like a ghost town. We decided to basically flip the script. What if we designed for crypto curious people who love Reddit, who love Twitter, who are on YouTube making memes, who have fandoms? They don't necessarily want to learn a new language just to post a comment. They don't necessarily need to be crypto degens, folks who want to use a decentralized social network, who want to switch from these centralized social networks, who are creators, who are not necessarily the most tech savvy. That meant no to connect wallet to view content. That meant a less resistive onboarding process, a sign up process, a login process, no Web3 gatekeeping. So we tried doing that. We integrated Privy, so there is an option to log in with email. Creating or joining a community is simple. You can monetize your content. There is tipping. And one does not need to have a wallet to have an account on Dapps. One gets a wallet by default by creating an account. And in our roadmap, we have few weeks time, there will be an option where the universal currency, and it'll not so much be just crypto facing, so that it becomes even more familiar looking for the user. So familiar interface with a Web3 backend. I think that was the whole point that we were trying to build, and that is what we did. So the biggest myth in Web3, mass adoption will happen once the tech is ready. I don't believe that. That is not true. Mass adoption only happens when the experience really stops sucking. When people can use your app without feeling like they need to be tech savvy, or they need a degree from one of the tech institutes, or like a huge Twitter following, then that is when mass adoption happens. Here's what most founders get wrong. They try to build cool products instead of usable products. They try to solve protocol layer problems before solving people problems. That is why most Web3 apps look like dev tools pretending to be communities or protocols. That is the problem. I do a podcast as well, and in that podcast, it is oft repeated that, nobody really cares about the tech. People care about the pain point that you are solving, because ultimately that's the only thing that interests them. So what I've learned through years of building and rebuilding, I think adoption is emotional more than anything else. People stay because they feel seen, they feel rewarded, they feel empowered. You are not building for DAOs or wallets or protocols. You're building for real people with very short attention spans and even short term patience. So, design like that, design keeping that in mind. So if you're building in Web3, ask yourself this: would you use your own product if, you weren't already deep in crypto? If the answer is no, you're not building for the next billion users. You're just impressing your Telegram group, perhaps. This is all that I had today for this particular episode in the Founder series. If you are building in Web3 and if you're struggling with finding a PMF or getting traction, do send me a DM. We can brainstorm a little bit and talk about how to perhaps rectify that and change course. Until then, here is Tarusha signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in.